This video is under fair use. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticisms, comments, news reportings, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing.
CCNTV, bringing you captivating news since 2019.
Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and of course, along with myself, my co-host, Brother Nate, and you beautiful people, we talk about everything on this wonderful Tuesday because this is a terrific Tuesday where we get to talk politics, news, mess, and everything else under the sun. So thank you so much for spending your Tuesday evening with me here at Cap Hill. Brother Nate, let me know when you're ready. All right, thank you, sir. And here you go. How are you, sir? What's going on?
I'm quite fine.
Cool.
Are we in the right place? Are we in the right universe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Where am I?
You're coming from me right now. Only because earlier I was sitting just, in my own space, kind of getting myself ready. And I was actually in an old StreamYard thing and like sitting there waiting, just messing around with stuff. And I was like, this is unlike him to not say anything at this point. Then I looked and then saw that it was already ended. And I was like, oh, I'm sitting here like a dum-dum. But it is, I did find my way to where I needed to be. And thank you all once again for joining. Now, do note that your waiter or waitress will be around with your drink of choice here at Cap Hill, and enjoy your lovely seats in the balcony for those of you who are making your way up there. Trust and believe. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the way in or the way out, however you choose, but please make sure you hit it nonetheless. You'd rather hit it there than where the good Lord splits you. This week has been and it's just starting. Well, let's start like last week into this week has been a bit of political news. Florida kind of being the white Aryan nation state, I think just about almost pretty much on its way to being like white central. And some other things that we're definitely going to get into. Governor Tim Scott putting his hat in the ring to be president of these United States for these non-racist United States, because there's no racism in America. Absolutely not. Look, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some other things. We will definitely talk about the 13-year-old boy out of Oklahoma, Elijah Muhammad, who has made history by being the first teenager, 13, 14-year-old to not only hold a degree, but hold 3 degrees and on his way to others. So definitely shout out to him. But without further ado, of course, welcome all of you. Miss Regina, Patty Dukes, always a pleasure to see you. And thank you so much for the little video clip. If I have time, I'll squeeze it in there.
Yeah, yeah, it was funny. That was that was real funny.
Definitely thank you so much for the code switching video. I will definitely throw it in there. And please remind me if you don't see it shortly. After we get through the news, of course. And Melissa Scott, always a pleasure to see you, Auntie. Nice to see you. I know that this is kind of around your bedtime, so thank you so much. It does not go unnoticed that you spend a little time with me. Hey, how are you? Is it in Edith? I do have a question to ask you, sir, so please stick by, Antonio. It's regarding your state, because, of course, you live there. So how else would, who else to ask but you? So without further ado, let's get this party started and get into it. So this news little intro thing is a little short, so we'll get right into it.
Who's it up at that podium? You know I was gonna let that shit slide. And I'm on this little ass phone. I can't see a goddamn. I'm gonna have to watch the replay. It's like, who the hell is that? Goddamn. Well,
yeah, that was shout out to the trip in Orlando, the club chat, and the rest of the family. They had one house was like the house with different presidential stuff and then country like American stuff kind of in it, and that was the first thing I thought instantly. I was like, oh, I gotta take a picture. So
get out of here.
Who took pictures for me. Thank you.
Was that the adult playroom? Or the podium?
That wasn't the loud house. That was the quiet house.
Oh.
that was the quiet house, very much so. The loud house was definitely cranking. Definitely was cranking. I think it was plenty of nights, at least 2, where people were going to bed about 3, 4, close to 4 in the morning. So it was definitely very much a lot of activity, which was fun. But I don't recall what order I put the stories in, because I kind of did it while I was switching them. So if it's not in order, please forgive me. I'm just gonna grab some stuff and really get into it. But I know I really wanted to get on these news updates first. So let me see if I can pull these back up. I hate when I do that, but please forgive me. Blame it on my mind, not my heart, because I was doing a whole lot of stuff. No, it wasn't you. It was one of you. So I'll just move this down. Oh, come on. You're playing with me now. Don't do this. Okay, you playing. We'll just roll with it. All right. So in some updated news, because at first I always like to do a little updating. There was a witness in the George Floyd murder case who is now suing the Minneapolis Police Department. Darnell Williams has filed a lawsuit against the county court on Tuesday. If you don't recall, Darnell Williams, he is one of the witnesses to the murder of George Floyd by the Minneapolis police officers 3 years ago, and he is suing the city. Williams says that he has suffered emotional distress and assault against him. Distress and was assaulted as he watched George Floyd's murder. The lawsuit was filed on Tuesday in a district court. I mean, for those of you, of course, that know the gruesome murder that George Floyd was unalived in, and one of the witnesses who was threatened to not actually go before the court and testify, who finally, after the DA constantly talking to him and kind of encouraging him to finally testify in the George Floyd murder case against former officer Derek Chapin. He's filing a lawsuit looking, in the words of damages, he's seeking about $50,000 for each count.
Are there how many counts?
There are doesn't say. Hold on, I must have missed it somewhere. Let's see. 1 count of intentional infliction of emotional distress, 1 count of assault, 1 count of negligent infliction upon emotional distress. So that's about 1, 2, 3. About 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 4 counts. Yeah. So I mean,
about 200,000.
Yeah, roughly, just about.
Well, he should just say, "I want a lot." That's all.
Yeah,
just give me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
And I'm surprised that none of the other people that were actually there, the young lady that actually videotaped it, and the young girl that was there, and a couple of the others. I'm surprised that his was the first one to come up.
Yeah.
Because I would have figured that they all would have, but maybe they never thought that they could actually recoup, because that is something that psychologically you won't forget. That's with you forever.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, excuse me. So I don't, wish him all the best in this. I can imagine it's a very traumatic situation to witness, and then the fallout afterwards, after the cameras leave and the protesters and all the support leave, and you have to live your normal life. I can imagine that must be somewhat stressful, and not to mention the police officers that probably still give you hell for what you did anyway.
I hope he's going to some type of therapy, because that would look good on his end, that he, even though probably can't afford it, that he's trying to seek some help. That something has definitely changed, for the worst. And I hope that he's doing that, because it would look good for his case, that he's not just trying to do a money grab.
Yeah. Very much so. Healing takes a lot of different forms, but definitely.
Yes, and a lot of cash would help me heal better.
Yeah, yeah. How about it? And help a lot of people around him. He's not only
just healing hands,
healing green hands.
Yeah. So hopefully now maybe some of the other people will also follow suit too.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully this gives a lot.
Because I've never heard of any other case like that, where witnesses and bystanders were actually going, trying to collect some damages. So that would be.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting, and I look forward to it, to see the outcome of what that will be. So definitely we'll keep a close eye on that. In other news. Of course, we were locked down for umpteen years due to the Rona swinging her hips around the world, not just here in the United States when we had Darnell as president, but around the world. It actually put the world at a standstill. And China has just announced this week that they have a new Ronisha out here, and the wave is set to see over 65 million cases a week. I'm not prepared for another lockdown. I think a lot of people it will send a lot of people in different spaces because they weren't used to the first one,
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that. However, I do understand that China itself has far more people in it than we do. Um, but part of me, and even reading this article, and you can check it out for yourself in the Bloomberg News, is almost like, is this, and you said it before, it being population control, like a way to kind of cut down on the numbers of people. Because I just, this, the way it keeps popping back up with these different variants, it's almost like starting to make me think that there's a war going on just using other things. It's not weapons, quote unquote, of mass destruction that we think of as missiles and bombs, but it is a biological warfare, a chemical warfare, so to speak. So just something to definitely look at and definitely pay attention to. We don't want to just think because it's not happening here that it won't eventually affect us in some way. And as the summer creeps up and, you know, people are ready to travel and do other things, this can be somewhat of a hindrance. So definitely want to be mindful. Your thoughts on this, if you have?
Yeah, and not only that, with China's population being as dense as it is, how many different variations of the virus could come out of this?
Right.
And just because your government told you, oh, we're gonna we're gonna stop giving you free tests, don't mean this shit is over. So you keep doing what you've been doing, because I wear my mask faithfully to work. If I was to see some of my coworkers out the street, they wouldn't even know who the hell I was. Thank God.
Yeah, so this is definitely crazy. So there are some news articles that kind of gonna run together here, and this is what I like to call white nation, because they all seem to have the same thing. So this group of white nation news here we're going to talk about first. Let's go to LA. So a dozen of Los Angeles police department, sheriff's department has declared an unlawful assembly due to many deputies having to now show their affiliation or tattoos and or markings, because evidence has shown that a lot of these officers have ties to a lot of these different organizations, gangs, so to speak, white nationalist kind of organizations. Again, color me not surprised. We learned all this during the time when they got mad and they stormed the Capitol on January 6th, but nobody really wants to talk about that because, oh, we love the blue when it's defending us or when it's talking about us. But when they actually do some dumb shit and have to go to jail for the dumb shit, then all of a sudden it's, oh, we want to attack the blue. And those, it's like, make up your mind. A lot of these people are infiltrated in a lot of these organizations. That's why I say the police department. And, you know, for those of you who serve and serve well and serve your community well, kudos and congratulations to you. However, history has shown that they are the most ruthless gang in these American streets. So
yeah.
About your blood, your
Crip.
I
was gonna say hell with the Bloods and the Crips.
The Crip and the what's the Mexican one?
Taco Bell. I don't know.
Yeah. You know, Taco Bell extra spicy about them. The police department is the most funded and supported organized crime unit in these United States. They run drugs, they run prostitution, they run all that, murders and killings of some known people, some unknown people. The police department plays a role in all of that. So I don't really, whoop-de-doo. You can read the article for yourself, but it's found that many of the officers are now having to report their tattoos and markings because they have drawn a correlation with a lot of these Aryan nations, these Mexican cartels and all this kind of stuff from the markings and the tattoos that a lot of these officers, sheriff deputies have. And I'm sure if they did a lot of digging in many of these police departments, you will find the same shit because they all kind of work together. They just discovered some stuff off the dark web via text messaging just a couple of days ago, where a lot of was it Minneapolis? Don't quote me, but it was one of the cities that were involved in an unarmed person being unalived by police. And as they were doing further digging into their department dealings, they found a lot of text messages that had strong racist notations and attacks on people, Black people and other people. I don't like to say people of colors for the others because sometimes they don't identify, so I'd rather not. So with that, definitely check it out. That's a definitely interesting article to check out. Anything you wanted to say on that before I move on to the other?
No, we pretty known that what they were about from the beginning. So it's no surprise to us.
Yeah, right. How about it? Speaking of no surprise, and I don't know if she's actually decided to run, but there have been talks about Nikki Haley, the former UN ambassador to the U.S., running for president, but she has called for the New York governor to pardon Daniel Penny in the Jordan Neely's subway case. If you don't recall, that is the Anglo-Saxon white boy, the former ex-Marine who unalived and I don't know if the man's homeless, so I don't want to say he was homeless, but
you can't say mentally disturbed, though.
Yeah, a mentally disturbed person on the subway, in the car, like in the subway car. He claims he felt threatened for his life, but no one else felt threatened. And there's even reports that people knew of the man. They just knew that day he was not his normal self. However, he didn't cause any harm or danger to anyone. They just knew he wasn't the normal person that they would normally see. He felt uncomfortable, so he took it upon himself to unalive that person. And he turned himself in. But Nikki Haley, who again was the former UN ambassador, has called for the governor of New York to pardon Daniel Penny for his crime of murder. I said this last week. This will just give green lights to people who feel if they don't like you, just because they don't like anything about you, that they can do this. And this practice has been done. Look at the congresswoman now who's in office, whose son was unalived because the music of the car he was in was loud. And the man shot up the car after he claims he told them to turn the music down. But I mean, again, people are allowed to do what they want to do. Just because it unnerves you, you go about your business. You go in your own corner, your own space, and you don't have the right to dictate how everyone else is supposed to live because they happen to be around you. It's kind of that being in a place where you can coexist. But again, history has taught them that they run this, they've created this, so they have dominion over what the rest of us do in their space. And I don't think that this is I don't think that this is fair. I don't even think that this is right. And as a potential Republican candidate, I think already you're setting a precedent for the kind of dog whistles, yet I'm not really saying it, that you're sending out to people. And I know these politicians know exactly what they're doing, but I think they like to turn a blind eye or think like, oh, this is not, I'm not really talking about this, when in actuality they are bringing these things to the forefront. Your thought?
Yeah, it gives that dog whistle. that you can police black bodies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever you want, if they're not where you think they're not supposed to be, that you can take it upon yourself to make the correction. You know, extending the long arm of the law. You know, because you'll have all these vigilantes out here just taking it upon themselves that they can just control anybody that they deem unworthy to be within a certain space.
Yeah, it is. It's really ridiculous. I'm gonna go back to the question. Sorry, I'm just rolling up here. Let's see. Why is he doing this now? Could this be China's population control? Yeah. And cartels? Yeah, cartels definitely. People play loud music in my neighborhood all the time. That doesn't mean I can shoot them. Right, exactly. But I mean, you know, when you're white, you think you're right, and so you think that gives you the right to take another person's life and then claim self-defense or fear. And then that's the part that always kills me. The people who are the aggressors in these situations always claim a fear for their life and fight or flight, as they like to call it. However, wasn't nobody messing with you though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a sense where the person was attacking you or being aggressive to you where you needed to then defend yourself in that way.
They do. They'll interject themselves into everything.
Right.
That has nothing to do with you. And you're wrong. You never sit back and assess what's actually going on.
Right. Not at all. But it's always you take it upon yourself to do what it is you need to do. Am I surprised by Nikki Haley's request/demand? Absolutely not. She is a woman. She is a white woman in America.
She's not white. She's not white. Let's be real. She's Indian, but she's white adjacent. What's wrong with your eyes, boy?
I'm trying to figure out. She's like George Santos, white adjacent, but white mainly when it's necessary.
We'll put it like this: they're new to the club of the white club.
She looked.
That's why she changed. That's why she changed her name. I don't believe that's her birth name. It's probably Nikki or something. You know.
She definitely looks like one of them witches off of the Witches.
You dumb. One of those witches.
Any of it, and she can go kick rocks with that whole statement. Like, first of all, you don't go asking for a pardon for someone when they unalive somebody. First, human life, period, should be preserved, regardless of whether you think a person is suitable to be, you know, in your space. It should be about human life. If he unalives someone, then mainly stop there. Stop trying to seek validation for a murder, because you never seek validation for murder when the shoe's on the other foot. It's you know, it is what it is. There's no you straight to jail. There's no kind of, well, what was the reason? Oh, well, that looks valid. Did he step on your shoes? Did he, you know, those are like we're never looking for an excuse on the other side of that. Always, when they do it, it's always, well, there's a reason why that person did it. No, it's not. No, that person is vengeful and they're hateful. And they felt the need to take their hate out upon someone else because they felt annoyed. And you know, it is what it is. I think at this point we need to stop kind of babying this thing and really give it.
Well, then too, these politicians, they're all shooting for Darnell's base.
Oh,
you know, they're all shooting
for Darnell's jizz love. Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay, her face is clean and clear, ready for shots from Darnell.
Oh, you know what? Because her skin is bad. She could use some.
Yeah, she could use some.
Because she got dips and whatever. All in her face. She has real bad skin, and I tell you, you know, that little bit of protein to help. A little dab, but do ya?
Right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, this clown, she has compared being called a white supremacist to the use of the N-word. And I'm just like, well, girl, absolutely not. If you support white supremacists, if you go to their functions and do speeches, if you support the QAnon theories that a lot of white supremacists support, I mean, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then it is a goddamn duck. I just don't understand. And then she had nerve to, when she was debating on the House steps with one of the new congressmen out of New York, out of Brooklyn, actually. Forgot the man's name, but please forgive me. She then put on white tears, and that whole white, I was afraid for my life because this is a big black man yelling at me and cursing at me. First of all, he didn't curse, nor did he yell. He just basically stated the facts to her in regards to her argument, that she was incorrect and that she needs to talk to the real person who, you know, you're talking about border safety and border patrol. All right, talk to Darnell about that wall that he was supposed to put up that he didn't put up, or the fencing. The fencing that he put up and didn't put up, or all of the other things that were going on with a lot of the Texas politicians, especially Governor Hot Wheels, allowing all these immigrants into the country and then shuffling them off at inner city, you know, big cities with Democratic mayors. So yeah, talk to those people first before you start.
Sanctuary cities.
Yeah, and other sanctuary cities as well. But you know, I just think that these people have made a total mockery of something that was put in place not for ordinary hunkabunkins like herself and all of the other politicians. Truth be told, your founding fathers that you praise so much did not want people like her and others to actually be in government. They put these things in place because they were very fearful of people like her and other white folks who weren't, you know, kind of that astute to
classism. Yeah. If you weren't in that you know, in that upper crust, this was not for you.
Yeah, you were with everybody else. And so definitely check out this beautiful article.
Yeah, I have one thing to say to Marjorie.
What's that?
Nigga, please. Next, go ahead.
She's the best. And speaking of nigger, please, what kind of teacher would let a student come to school in a KKK costume? Well, this middle school teacher was suspended after allowing a student to dress up as a KKK Grand Wizard for a history project. I mean, a teacher out of a county in Kentucky was suspended upon a school district investigation into a horrible occurrence in her classroom. According to the CBS 4 News, she allowed a student to dress in a KKK costume for a history project. The video surfaced as the middle school students were riding on the bus dressed in a KKK hood and robe. The report says that the student asked if they could dress up as a Confederate Army general, Bedford Forrest, the original Grand Wizard of.
I was getting ready to say not just a regular KKK member, but a grand wizard.
Yes. And allegedly, she said that one of the students said, who was in the classroom, that she didn't see what the big deal was.
Now, see, this is white privilege at its best. That you could just.
I mean, you could literally
think nothing of it.
Nothing of it. No kind of sensitivity whatsoever. But everything else we're supposed to be sensitive about. You're supposed to be sensitive about everything. They done turned this idea of being woke just to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on around you, and to wake up and pay attention to things that are being implemented to harm and set a lot of people back to something that, like this movement. And I like how they give flight to things, even though they think they're kind of demeaning it at the same time. But it brings light to people wanting to know, well, what does that mean? You know, even though they try to define it, and it's like they can't. You'd be like, but what is wokeness? Yeah, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. But yeah, this is crazy. And just because we can sit here and say, well, oh, that's Kentucky, that's expected. It's not. It should never be expected nor respected. But they can do this, but then say that they don't want African American studies or the civil rights movement or anything of that nature taught in their schools, but they can have history lessons where the students get to dress up in KKK memorabilia.
Only in America.
And not only that, but support a losing army that was against
they're the real American heroes. You know that.
You know what I'm saying? Like treason at its best. I really don't understand how do you support treason? Like, you know, like, yay, ooh, we almost tried to overtake. I don't see, you know, in the large scheme of things, maybe in small areas and things of that nature, I'll give them that. But I don't see large groups of people in Germany saying, oh man, we almost won. Hitler almost got it, and we almost took over the world. I just don't see that. And as much as they talk about winning and being this whole dominant race, it is so sad that they always show themselves very much less than, like, oh, pick me kind of people in situations, which is dumb to me, but whatever. So definitely check out this article of this teacher who got suspended. Let me know when you're ready, sir. A teacher who got suspended for allowing the student to wear this KKK hood and robe, the whole shebang. Not just
a hoodie, but a hoodie.
Right. And then, you know, you got teenagers like Trayvon Martin being murdered for wearing a hoodie in the rain.
Right.
But yeah, white kid can go out and wear a whole Ku Klux Klan outfit and it's a history project. No, somebody, you know what? Somebody should have popped that hood. I'm just saying. And, you know, speaking of people with hoods, Ron DeSantis. Here we go. Florida. I really think, and this is just me, Antonio, I'll put the link down here for you if you like to add your little 2 cents. But I really,
we want to know. We really want to know.
I really want to know. And if there are any other people in the chat, or if you watching this later on the replay, please leave a comment. I would really like to know how people in Florida are feeling about a lot of the decisions that Ron DeSantis is making, where in which it's almost making it out to be like a white nation state. I mean, there's really no other way I can.
It's a new vacation spot.
Yeah, right. He's gonna turn Disney World into white make-believe land. I mean, I just don't know how else to put it. So recently, Ron DeSantis or Ron DeSatan, otherwise known, has put forth $13.5 million in a police program to hire. Let me say that loud and clear. $13.5 million of state funds to hire police officers who have had violent records. So in other words, all those police officers that lost their jobs because they unalived, or let's just, for lack of a better word, murdered black people, murdered some brown people, murdered, you know, whomever else, and they were able to get away with it in a sense, but maybe lose their job and have to come somewhere else. Ron DeSantis is basically saying, here you go. Here's a job waiting for you. Come down here to Florida. So you can
actually, there are a lot of jobs out there. You better get them to start picking.
Well, I mean, of course, there are a lot of jobs down there because he just signed that bill where the documented immigrants or undocumented immigrants would be at risk of being deported. And again, they throw these things out here, but do they not see what's around them, like their own housekeepers, their own babysitters, their own gardeners, their own construction hand helpers? All these things get halted. Walmart looks like a ghost town in a lot of the cities in Florida because those jobs where people would be stocking the shelves and all that kind of stuff were usually jobs held by undocumented or somewhat shady documented immigrants. And they're not going to risk being deported or having their whole family deported due to this one wanting to sound so self-righteous and so quote unquote American. So I don't know. I'm really, really, really curious of how people feel. I just think that he is making a stand not only for the state, but I think he's almost kind of ushering his own personal army.
Yeah.
His own little personal army that if in fact he felt the need to allow the South to rise again, he will utilize.
And that's exactly what I think they're actually trying to do.
Yep.
Not only that, I think him and Darnell are in cahoots.
Oh yeah.
They're not bitter enemies.
No,
I definitely don't. I think they're playing both ends.
Yeah, this is for TV. This is for I go at you, you go at me. I go at you, you go at me. I go at you, you go at me. But I'm staying here. And then when it gets time, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pack up and go stay at Bedminster in New Jersey. I'm gonna be there.
But who's to say that Darnell doesn't get Ronnie to be his vice president?
That's what I'm saying. That's what he's going to do.
Okay.
He's gonna get to New Jersey, right? And because you don't know if he's at Mar-a-Lago most of the year. We don't know. He could have been in New Jersey most of the year, practically the whole time.
Oh, you said You said Bedminster. Okay. Now I remember what that is. Yeah.
New Jersey estate golf course. I mean, who lives? That's like somebody living. Whenever I think of it, that's like somebody living over top like their store.
He's over top of the store.
Like they have a store at the bottom, and they just go upstairs. It's like, who? All this money you making, and you can't. And you bury your ex-wife on the grounds, like.
Hey, that's right. Tax cuts.
You ain't got to. I guess it means you ain't got to pay that much to have a hole dug. But I mean, who really wants to go? She could be hit with a golf ball. I mean, it's just
you put right off her tombstone.
Just absolutely crazy. But anyway, so definitely I would like to know anyone's thoughts. If you're in Florida, how do you feel about all of these movements made by your governor? I'm just curious because I would
or does it not affect certain areas? Just like when the federal government passes something and most states aren't really affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that type of thing? The different counties or whatever.
Yeah.
But then on the other end, I see people, especially in the trans community. A lot of people are packing it up.
Yeah,
and they're leaving.
Yeah,
because there's really isn't any loopholes. I mean, because he's pretty much covered the bases, just basically to have them arrested.
Yeah, I mean, NAACP is calling for Black people to boycott.
No, that's everybody. Because if you ain't Lily White,
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
You fall somewhere in between in one of these categories that they have. If you're
Yeah. Well, I
not a
mean,
white person,
well, because they need the numbers, so they're accepting the ones who are white adjacent, as you said. They are accepting to the white adjacent or people who have completely disowned their own heritage or natural roots and kind of fallen in line with the mantra of the alt-right for all intents and purposes, pretty much.
yeah, don't think because they wearing a hood that they're actually white people under there.
Yeah. It's a lot of self-hatred going on in this world of politics and lawmaking, which makes it very much very, very difficult. Hey, what's going on, sir? Let me know when you're ready. I don't want to just pop you up here and you're not ready. Hey, how you doing, sir? Nice to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
I was for real. I had to go put my wig on. I was around here in a big shirt and my drawers. I look like somebody's mother.
What's for dinner? What's for dinner?
Not a damn thing now. But Florida getting crazy. Everybody is texting me and emailing me, and even people who call in at work are like, "Y'all all right down there?" This one guy yesterday, he didn't even know my name. He just from talking to me, it was like 2 sentences, and he goes, "You black, aren't you?" And I went, wow. Yeah. And he goes, "Y'all in Florida, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You staying in Florida?"
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am very curious to know. And I know you're not a native Floridian, so I mean, that's not. But just being down there, how is the tension? Do you feel like the laws or the amendments being passed by your state house are affecting you in any way, or is it just?
It's so. Let me start by, I'm already worried about July when they allow pretty much anybody, whomever, to carry a gun if they choose to.
Right.
That is like anxiety inducing, because now I'm thinking that's all it takes is one wrong incident at a stoplight and I'm no longer here. Or in the supermarket, I cut in front of somebody and they are justified in shooting me. And then not knowing also that I checked not just one box but 2,
right?
Because being black, being gay, bi, whatever you want to call me,
right?
That doubles it up. So that's all they have to see is look at my skin. They see me and my husband. Oh, there you go, already double target, pow pow. Yeah, it's very unsettling. And I was listening earlier, and you said they're pretty much making it a white state, and they are. That's exactly what they are. DeSantis is one. I think he's testing out what he can get done and what he can't get done.
Right.
That's the first thing. So he's like, okay, if I get it past y'all, I can get it past everybody else. And then I heard a rumor he was trying to run for president too, and then made a law that he would stay governor while he's running for president.
He changed it. He changed it.
Yeah, he's already done
because when you're doing both, he can no longer be governor if he's going to run for the presidency.
Right.
And then there's another law I saw he passed that while he's running for president, he doesn't have to disclose his location.
Correct. No, here's a real scary one. Your infrastructure, your roads, the chemicals that they're going to use, the radioactive material, and what is it? I know you got a lot of white people down there. Are they just like going along like they're in like in heaven somewhere? Like he's just doing it all for us.
Yeah, I think so. I think
they just really because I don't see a up. like to see an uproar because it's going to kill them too. That's what I don't. That's what I don't understand.
But that's the thing. That's what they don't get that. They're looking at it's gonna kill everybody else.
So whiteness just shields all that shit.
Yeah. They really believe that they're shielded due to their their lack of melanin.
But I think also what they're trying to do is get rid of the elderly, which doesn't make sense.
No, but that's where the money is.
And that's what I'm thinking. So why
because Florida's the biggest waiting room. Yes, God is always just sitting around the corner waiting because there's always somebody knocking.
Right.
And there is a place here that they call God's waiting room. It's a complex right up the street.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is you get rid of the elderly.
Mm-hmm. Your number's been called. Bingo.
So you get rid of the elderly, you make more room for the people who think like him to come here, put all their money into
but they don't have any money. That's the whole thing. The most people that think like him don't have the money. The elderly have accumulated so much wealth over the years. You come on down to get some sunshine, and
but I think they probably gonna steal it. I really think they have taken. Somebody has studied Hitler's memoirs, and they have really kind of modernized it to the modern age. And I think that what they're going to do is killing off the people, but using their resources and their money, just like Hitler did.
Well, they didn't have to study Hitler because Hitler and the Germans got it from us, from the United States.
Yeah. That's part of this.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you and your husband have a contingency plan?
We're already looking for places to go.
Mm.
Is he a Floridian?
No, he's from North Carolina.
Okay.
Mm. And that's the thing too. First Florida, then possibly Texas, then possibly places like North or South Carolina. I mean, this is just a stepping stone for and God knows if any of the mofos actually gain the White House or gain control of one of the houses, especially the Senate and the House, it's a wrap. It's a wrap because whatever they've done in states like Florida, Texas, or any place else, they will monopolize that across these United States.
Yeah.
It is not a game. It is really just very, very, very crazy.
It'll be Trump 2.0 with somebody who actually has sense.
That's a little
scary part.
Far more sense than he did. Right.
Yeah.
Far more sense, and not looking to just be on the 8 o'clock news, but looking to really be on the 8 o'clock news, like in the history books. Like, I want to be remembered as the greatest, whatever of all times. It's really, with the man who looks like he has a Napoleon complex to boot. So I don't know. I just think it's really
scary because my husband and I were talking, and I was like, he might win. I really think he might win. And that's what's really
well. Look, if they put Darnell in, you know,
right,
this is how they actually think, and this is and it's not just his so-called base. It's basically white Americans in general. They all think I mean, if you haven't learned anything from when white women voted, they voted against that. They done gave away their own ovaries.
Right. Yeah. They done packed up.
I mean, granted, you guys don't want vaginas and shit, but they just and white women on top of it. Well, I don't know. You might be in the white vagina. I don't know.
No, definitely not.
It's all baloney. But anyhow,
and it ain't Oscar Mayer. It's the cheap cut.
It's the cheap cut. No, but they sold their own.
Yeah.
Autonomy to their own bodies, which is, they'll sit up here and say, well, we want to save the babies. It's like,
right. Yeah, no. I mean, again, and the thing, the history of Planned Parenthood is something that we need not to forget. Like, yes, Planned Parenthood has become a place where a lot of women are able to receive health care for themselves and their reproductive organs and things of that nature. But the actual origin of Planned Parenthood was eugenics, was to kill off
Yes.
Black people and other people of color and nations, and to just have a white,
and the mentally infirmed. Because if you weren't deemed
and all that, if you weren't deemed white, right, and physically
and all right in your brain, they're going to make it so that you can't reproduce.
right,
And they were still doing that, like in the 70s, 80s, and maybe early 90s.
right. So they just like recently got called out on that, and then they tried to do a flip around to, oh no, we're helping all women. Look at all of the stuff we're doing. But it's like the history of their group is just not.
Yeah, just all the way around. They're just a hot ass mess all the way around.
Hot ass mess.
That is really crazy.
Yeah. But
like I said,
the up and coming months are going to be pretty scary for everyone of color. And the NAACP is pulling out their bulletin like weekly. Do not go to Florida.
Yeah, do not go to Florida.
Go.
Yeah, I've seen that.
In so many ways, even though we're not down there, I would say stay and fight, but they've just loosened so many restrictions. I mean, you're just going to have literally shooting in the streets.
Right,
and that's,
and he made that very easy for them to do.
Right, yeah.
But don't you roll up on some white person and do the stand your ground type thing, because the law will flip on your ass.
Yeah.
That would make sense why he hiring all them cops. Everybody gonna have guns. Let's bring all them cops, and y'all can police. And those would be the officers that would not be able to go to other districts because of the laws that are in place. But if he's willing to look a blind eye, they're going to be flocking down there in masses.
Yep. And just to participate in the fuck shit. I mean, it's not for nothing, just to do what they continue to be doing, being corrupt, killing people without any recourse, just for the simple fact of law and order type of situation. Yeah, I just think it's really, really, really ridiculous.
More like law through disorder.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Now, has your job
the purge state? Watch.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying that from day one. That you thought the purge was just a movie. No, these motherfuckers is making it real life.
Yeah,
they're about to make this real life.
Yeah. Now, has either one of your jobs? What is their reaction to what's going on down there? If anything,
the only bulletin I got at work, since I'm in the real estate industry, was that law that DeSantis passed, where if you are a citizen of China in the U.S., you cannot buy land in Florida. So that's the only thing.
Is there another one coming up too? If you're Cuban, also, I've been hearing hints of that.
I'm pretty sure I'll see it.
Fluttering about.
I'm pretty sure he probably will. But again, and these are the people that are a huge part of his voting bloc, and it's just like,
it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's because they thought they was white.
Yeah, that's right. This is the slapping that they get.
Oh, you know what they said? Gotcha, bitch. That's exactly what they did. Gotcha, bitch.
Right. After what happened to that man in the Proud Boys, I can't remember his name, but after they got him, that should have been a huge wake up call.
Hernandez or
after that, they all should have been like, hold up, something ain't right.
He don't make it, okay?
Right.
Yeah. And speaking of people not making it, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. I don't know if you want to join in the conversation, but you're welcome to stay. Antonio, if you like. Tim Scott files to run for president. And that was a question or poll set in one of the groups I am a part of earlier this morning. Would you give Tim Scott a objective view and consider voting for him, or would you just say next because he's a Republican? And I say no, not just because he is a Republican, but I don't like I followed the man, and his voting record in the Senate is absolutely horrible. There's nothing he's voted for that has any inkling, sprinkling, or anything to do with concerning Black people, where he came from. As much as he likes to talk about his mother, being on public housing and all that kind of stuff, nothing he has done in the Senate has supported anything from which he has come. Secondly, and I would even say that even, our own vice president uttered these words, that the United States of America is not a racist country. But for him to say that as a Black man in a party in which, granted, they always talk about Lincoln, and it's like 86 Lincoln out of this whole equation, because the parties were two different parties at that time. So I don't know why they like to hang their hat on the kind of Lincoln mantra when they're two different parties. They switched. So the reality is, no, they're not the same anymore. So no, I don't see it for Tim Scott. I already know what this is. This is the play of race. This is the play of, look, we are inclusive. Look at this Black man. He's running. Look at this guy. He can really, do the job. But the actuality is, a lot of the white folks know they're not going to vote for him. They're not. They're not going to vote for him. If not for nothing, he'll be a VP ticket person to usher in that we're inclusive kind of situation. That's all he's going to be if he's even picked. But that's all he'll be. And the minute he don't do what they want him to do, like a Mike Pence, they be talking about hang him for real. And they might just really just hang him for real, for real.
Yeah. I tell you, that nigga's delusional. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say. Because he is what he is.
Yeah, it's just like you get in these spaces to where you've been allowed it through affirmative action and all these other things that of course we know predominantly help white women, but you were able to be the ticket person to get into a lot of these spaces. And
maybe he thought he was a white woman.
Oh well, that overbite might be a telltale sign, but but you get into these spaces and then you do like a Clarence Thomas and you take a broom and you like wipe the sand clear so nobody can see the steps that you've taken to get where you are, and you think you've made it there just by your sheer grace and the person that you've become. And it's like, do you not see these people around you in your own party that basically dismiss your very being?
Too busy trying. He out here with the coonery and the buffoonery.
But
that's all it is. And I've noticed that with a lot of people of our people, once they reach a certain status, that's when the coonery comes out, because they like, ooh, you see me, boss? I'm out here, I'm doing it. You see me, boss? I got everybody hyped. You see me, boss? That's
right.
What it comes off as.
But that's the part that is so very. It's so disheartening. Like, I don't mind you being conservative. I really don't mind you being conservative, because the reality is a lot of the members of the civil rights movement were very conservative. They did not believe in a lot of the more progressive things of the civil rights movement. They were more, kind of following the kind of guidelines set by their white counterparts. So they weren't into all of the modernizing of, Black people and all that kind of stuff. They were very much traditional, following the model, the structure of white families. Cool. With that said, it's like, what are you talking about, sir? Like, how do you get into a place where you're seeing all of this? You're seeing this, not only, as they like to call it, black on black violence, but you see all this cases where there are police killing unarmed black people and all of these situations. And I believe the law enforcement is doing their job and they're making us safe and all this other kind of. It's like, what?
He would say you should have pulled their pants. You could have pulled your pants up. You could have ran faster. That's what he. Let's be realistic. We already have one person that has set us back years, and we haven't been out here like that. That long. We don't need another Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it with these people, and I know they groomed them to be that person, to be look, I got a blackie, I got one to parade them in front of the rest of America that the Republican Party is so inclusive. Yet nothing that he's put forth, no agenda that he even co-signed has anything to do with anything dealing with the black community at all. Nothing, not a one. So I don't.
Well, he's not appealing to the black audience. He's appealing to the other audience. So I mean, he's not going to. That's not who he's appealing to.
No.
Right. And in that sense, I get that. But as a black man, right? And if you're really trying to then show, because if the party is really trying to show that they are so inclusive and that they are for everyone, even though, their Republican houses that they have across the state vilifying voting rights acts, vilifying, all of these things that have been set forth during the civil rights movement and before, just totally gutting them out. I mean, slavery was just abolished in was it Mississippi or Alabama? And that was just 5 or 6 years ago? 10 at the most? It was still on the books.
Who said it was gone? It's just changed form. It's just changed form because now they're going to arrest your ass and send you to prison where you're going to be out there picking that cotton and fruits, right, and all that stuff. What y'all going to do down there in Florida when you can't get them oranges off the tree? All that stuff rotting in the field. Stuff just rotting in the field.
No, I don't even coming here. So I'm trying.
I was going to say, are the white people running? Are the white people flocking to the farms to start picking? I mean, all these jobs are opening now. Okay.
No, them toothless motherfuckers. Them
little tender, them fucking hands are tender. All right, they don't know nothing about. They be picking green shit. Everybody been had the shits by the time they got finished with them because they be picking all kinds of wrong. What is that? That's not even an orange. What is it?
I don't know. These people. I don't know. I really don't know what their thought process is. I don't even know if they have a contingent plan. I don't know what their line of thinking is. I really don't.
But he's doing so much damage down there, and it's going to be one of those deals where after he's left office, you're actually going to see the ramifications of all the damage that he's done.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people see it now. Orlando doesn't look as pristine as it used to. I'm waiting
for Disney to say, you know what, bye.
Right. That's what I'm waiting for too. Because once they go, that's it.
No, but
Florida's done data at that point.
Done.
Mm-hmm. No, but you also have truckers that refuse to take loads into your state.
Yeah,
when the things are going to start, when's the shelves going to start running empty on certain things?
Certain places are already empty. I'm seeing videos online. In my area, it's still stuff there. It's not packed, but it's still stuff there. But I have seen other parts of Florida where it's bare. So y'all might want to start planting your own.
You're going to be wiping your ass with palm leaves, and you'll keep it up. So y'all got iguanas and shit down there, right? Just so y'all be down there, you get the iguanas to do it. They the New Mexican. Shit.
So in my area, I actually have peacocks. So
Oh Lord.
They chased people in the parking lot.
Oh,
And then there was an
no.
alligator under my boss's car, and she ran.
Oh,
what?
see,
So,
that's why I could have been down there. Y'all got too much shit. Y'all got big ass snakes down there. Y'all got gators eating people. Now you got cocks running around in the parking lot. It's just too much for me. It's just too much. And then you got white people. They like roaches.
Yeah. And definitely
Shit.
speaking of too much, we definitely have 2 more stories to go. Biden and McCarthy are holding meetings talking about the debt ceiling.
And that's
which
another
is due
thing.
to expire on June the 1st. Let me say that again. June the 1st,
next week.
the United States would have defaulted on
Mhm.
their payments or their loans.
That's right. Any government checks that you're getting, Social Security, veterans, whatever you got coming from the government, all that stuff is going to cease.
Yes,
So what
it
does
will.
so I never understood what exactly the debt ceiling is, and who are they paying back? Are we paying ourselves back? Or are we paying China? What exactly is?
You paying China all that pork at the pork farm. Now I bet you China got those Mexicans over there working at them pig farms because you got to have your bacon.
Well, yeah, I mean they there and they in Africa too, trying to make other people pay work other stuff. China is definitely on the move, but it is basically running a credit card bill. Like the United States goes around swiping for war. They go swipe for this. They swipe for that. They swipe for a tax credit, and then the bill comes. And when it's time to pay the bill, these fiscal Republicans are always talking about money and spending and too much spending. They're the ones that go, let me put this bill to the side. I don't want to pay this bill.
But yet they got a tax cut, which meant less money than normal.
And it shot up the deficit. It shot up the deficit to a huge hole. So you're talking about how much money we're spending. Yeah, people looking at the money that they were getting at the moment, but the bill to pay for all those tax cuts that they received is now due, and they don't want to pay it. So now they're gonna play, kind of cat and mouse with the president, knowing good and goddamn well the president don't have no control over them playing around with the debt ceiling. If they default, they default. Now it'd be dumb for the Democrats not to put it out there and educate the people on who's actually responsible if we happen to default, instead of sitting around not saying nothing, waiting for it to happen, and then go, ooh, look what they did with this whole kind of good cop, bad cop bullshit that they play. I'm so over it. I really am over it. A lot of people are going to be without jobs.
Yes, because the government. Remember when the government shut down before?
Yeah.
All those offices.
That's it.
And you still have to remember too, we're just coming out of that pandemic. Some people are still not straight.
Right. They still haven't really gotten back on their feet. So it's like you about to put the people again in another kind of hole, financial hole, for what? To show who has the bigger penis. Y'all all got flaccid penises around there. Don't worry about it.
And then they want to cut Social Security, all the things that you've put money into. They're going to go after the Veterans Administration, all of that stuff. They come after the people stuff first, but yet had heard no one say anything back about giving back some of that money that they got those tax breaks on. None of those bitches did that shit. Okay, none of them.
Or not even to mention the increase in salary that the new Republican Congress has asked for. None of you talked about returning your increase back to the people, because it's not what it's about. It's all about power and money. It's not even about the people. They could give two shits about the people, but the same people that go out and vote for them and have such kind of rah for them, they don't give a shit about.
You never heard a politician say. You never heard a politician say, I want to go out here and sell some ass for my constituents. The motherfuckers ain't never say that shit, well, but they be begging for your votes.
Maybe George Santos did. Maybe.
It's a pussy and bussy.
Maybe George Santos.
It's all spicy Brazilian. He give you heartburn.
Brazilian nut, to be exact. But yeah, so this debt ceiling is losing.
He said, how do you want it? How do you want it?
I just don't want it anyway.
It's the spicy. It's the spicy.
Yeah. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we'll keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah.
Also,
so
real
that,
quick,
though, you said who's responsible. So when it comes to the debt ceiling, the blue side and the red side come to a number, and the president has to agree on it.
Well, the debt ceiling has always been something that has been raised regardless. It's never been used as a political tool. We just never knew about it. It was like if the debt ceiling was coming close, they would just raise it. And they talk about it for 2 seconds on the news, and it was it. The debt ceiling has been raised, moving right along. It was nothing to talk about. It's just I want to say before Obama, but I doubt it. Because since that black man came into office, it has awoken. It was almost like, can you feel a brand new day when they start unzipping their skin and coming out? That's how white people felt when Obama was president. Their racism and their bigotry was just, can't you feel a brand new day? I want to be racist. And they've been running with it ever since. So they've used that as a tool to kind of make the other person, kind of beg and grovel at their feet. Because if you don't do it, we're going to default, and all these people are going to lose their jobs, and all this is going to happen, and it's going to be your fault, kind of thing. And they've been. And they actually think
that people won't come to DC and smite them all.
No,
they really just think people are just going to. Have they learned?
No, they haven't learned. You see, January 6th, they were able to get away with it. But you thinking you or I go to do a January 6th? We're not.
Oh yeah, they've been to drop the bomb. They've been to drop an atomic bomb on DC.
Home, okay, we're not going home. Call it a kamikaze mission because it's on site. Okay,
yeah,
it's on site. Build a
they'll probably be hollering. Yeah.
Because it's a done deal. It's like watching Glory when Denzel Washington was carrying the flag and getting shot, and he was on. It's a done deal. It's done. Put a fork in it. But for them, they can do that because it's all. Oh, they were angry. They were getting out their aggression. You see that when there's championship games and they riot and burn cars and flip over stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's when I get aggressive, I want to smear poop all over the building too. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to defecate on the walls and do all types of shit. But I'm so civilized, and we're the uncivilized ones. But you out there like cave people shitting on walls. They do have bathrooms in the
No, but you got to be careful because if you don't go to the right bathroom, that is according to your agenda.
Well, I mean, a lot of them creeps probably dibble and dabble in both bathrooms anyway. Because a lot of them, the people that talk the most about that shit are the ones who are experimenting in the closet, wearing pantyhose and all types of all crazy shit. Trust me.
As I say every week, you can see it on Pornhub.
That goddamn Lindsey Graham probably has a hole the size of it.
Oh yeah.
It's huge. Can take
just double fisting.
Not even double fisting. Whole humans can come in and out of his ass. He cough and just whole human leg just drop out.
Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But this is the type of this type of stuff we have going on here. So yeah,
only in America.
Yeah, as Don King would say, only in America. But just definitely be mindful. One of the stories I definitely want to highlight, of course, is this 13-year-old boy by the name of Elijah Muhammad, who has created a milestone by proudly receiving a diploma from the city of Oklahoma's community college, according to ABC's affiliate. He's accomplished a remarkable feat by graduating with a degree in computer science and cybersecurity since he's been enrolled in August of 2020. Breaking barriers And he plans to attend a black college and pursue other degrees. Let's see what else it says.
Shit, at 13. Yeah, I was thinking about getting out of school, but it wasn't to go to college.
Right.
He plans to be a high school, college graduate by the age of 15, and getting his degree in computer science. And there was something else he mentioned. It's in the article here, but I mean in the actual video clip, but it's kind of long, so I ain't gonna hold you to it. But I will grab the link and I'll put it on my Facebook wall. Facebook wall. I'll put it there too, but on my YouTube wall for you to check out. But definitely remarkable for this young man and the parents, because it takes a lot to nurture that kind of talent and know that your child is capable, even when others try to tell you, maybe you shouldn't do that, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, and knowing that you see the potential in your child to push them forward.
Have you noticed how many children of color are
Black children excelling extremely
yes,
well.
just doing the damn thing?
Yeah,
and I'm talking about not just graduating high school, but graduating high school. There's a student that graduated high school and college in the same week.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
In the same week.
Yeah.
There's a family, and this goes back to that homeschooling, teaching them what you deem that's important.
Wow.
This woman has 6 or 7 kids. God damn it, all them motherfuckers are smart as shit. We talked about all of the. I mean, already not even able age-wise to work, but already have degrees in the fields that they want to go into.
Right.
That's good.
I've seen one where there is a family of doctors, husband and wife, and all of the children are doctors. And it's all about what you put out here. And I know a lot of times, media likes to portray us as always less than, but it's always great to know that we can nurture ourselves and we don't need the media to dictate what we deem to be success in the way of education and in its own avenues and however you find it. It's never too late and you're never too old to pursue your dreams in either education or whatever it is. And we don't need anybody to dictate and tell us when we should or when we shouldn't or what we should study. Study what you like, as this young man is definitely a witness to that. But yeah, totally cool. And kudos to him for doing that. It's a great feat. Let's see what else I got. I think that was it. And I do have, and thank you, Miss Patty Duke, for your video clip. And definitely, this is something we should definitely utilize when you're called code switching. Is definitely something that can definitely be utilized by all of us every now and again. One moment while I get this all queued up. But yeah, code switching is important. I believe in it because it's important. You should always code switch.
Been doing it for years.
Well, I ain't been doing this type of code switching, but not that. I get it. I definitely get it. Let me see if I can play it here. Will it play for me? And it won't play. Where'd you go? Okay, great.
Me anytime a man don't understand means no.
Fine, let me get your number.
My preference, so please leave me alone.
Wait, come here.
Why are you grabbing on me? This coat costs more than your whole life, and I'm taking, so please leave me alone.
Why you doing all that?
Because I don't want to.
Come here.
Bro, leave me alone. I'm for real. I'm not even with that gay shit. Stop trying me. I don't care. Pink ain't got no pink. Color ain't got no. Don't do me like that, bro. This ain't even no purse for real. It's a handbag.
They said what they said.
But yeah, definitely when no means no, it just means no.
Now, I have a question. I have a question. Since I have you two here, how do you feel? Let me laugh first, because this is gonna sound stupid as shit. How do you feel if you're with someone that says to you, "I'm not with that gay shit," and you just got finished knocking that back out? How do you feel about that? What's the thought?
The gay shit definitely has levels. I'll say that. As someone who definitely doesn't dibble and dabble in a whole lot of gay shit, gay shit definitely does have its levels. So I can certain things I can understand.
I mean, but
Understand.
it's like, motherfucker, I just saw your toes curl. What are you talking about?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but they can be with that gay shit, but not other gay shit.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So it is.
you okay
So
being tooted and booted, but you won't
mhm.
let everybody know where we just
No,
were. Like you see,
we're just out in your business, out in the
Yeah,
street.
yeah.
Okay.
but
It's
those are the
almost
same ones that be wearing lingerie underneath their clothes. But
right,
they not with that gay shit. Like, all
right.
right, okay.
Yeah,
Let me see
Wow.
them little lace panties. I know
yeah.
that little
It's levels to it. It's levels. It's
They don't
levels.
say
underneath the
Adidas.
basketball shorts. Underneath the
I was
basketball
gonna say
shorts,
they
they
don't
got
say
on the lace.
Adidas.
They get the extra double dribble, and I don't mean
Right.
that extra double dribble. You be like, that nigga got drawers on? No.
Right. Nope.
Mm,
Just clapping. Just
Like
clapping
he
and
got 3
walking.
basketballs.
Because when Patty showed us that clip, and that's the first thing I asked, how you hit that gay shit? I was like, oh, okay, well, I said, I'll ask the question. But then I had a twofer because both of you here. So, okay. Because, y'all could give me a cornucopia of just,
Yeah,
Not a
things
cornucopia.
there's
things to
levels.
think about. I mean, it's just one of those things, because I've heard that before. And it's like, wait a minute.
Petty did say he didn't sound convinced. Yeah, I mean, it's the heels and the jacket
And the jacket and
and
all.
the handbag and the makeup and the crop
No,
top.
but
And
then when the voice dropped, I was like,
But
well,
the real gag though,
mhm.
the dude in the heels be the one bending over other dudes.
right,
That be
Oh.
swinging and
right.
they be weighing it out.
Oh, you mean that coat be swinging?
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty
Alexis be
much.
weighing it out. Alexis
Mm.
weighing
Yeah.
it out.
It's like that scene off
Mm.
of what was that movie? Tu Wong Fu, where the officer grabbed Patrick Swayze by the nuts because he thought she was a woman. It's like, get your hand off my dick, buddy. It's that same kind of thing.
Mm. Wow.
About that time, the tone changes and you become, you go from Vita to Daryl or whatever. Yeah, when you need to. So, it is what it is. There's levels to it. Yeah, but thank you so much, Patty Duke, for that. I definitely enjoyed it.
That was funny.
Brother Nate, you got a homework assignment. Go visit the hub.
Go
And
with
go
the
look for
Not go visit.
go look for the heels and
go look
watch
for
them
heels.
blow out. Yes.
No, not the one with
heels and the
eyes,
wig.
please. Don't do the heels with eyes. I did also get another video that I thought was funny. This was way back in the day, and I still remember this one. And I'll share this video with you all. And let me know if some of you remember this. This was when a very popular reverend was not so skinny back in the day. And hopefully, I'm sure you'll recognize who it is once you see it.
Alfreda Sharpton.
Of course, Miss Alfreda Sharpton. Of course, it's her. And this is when they had a show at the Apollo.
I'm one of the few none bigger than black
I wish I
niggas
could blow
around,
it
I
up,
would
but I
say.
can't.
Let me state now, let's deal with the facts. Let's go to the record. Tonight, we want to deal with the records and the facts. Please do it. On this program, your program, you heard me, you had me on tape defending this man. Recently, even after the shenanigans with him and the other, that's a lot of crap. This brother, you have your time. That's a lot of crap.
Look at that suit.
Screaming.
What?
Oh, he laid hands on him.
Yeah, he did.
Now, please zip it. We're going to let everyone talk tonight. And that's what the loudmouths are for. Let these guys talk first. Go ahead.
I just got it one more time.
None bigger than black leaders run, I would say. Let me state now.
Because he got up real quick, surprisingly, for as round as he is.
Tonight, we want to deal with the records and the facts. Please do it. On this program, your program, you heard me.
Hey, Just Kimmy, nice to see you. Thank you for stopping by with your beautiful self.
Even after the shenanigans with him and the other, that's a lot of crap. Now, look, brother, you have your time. That's a lot of crap.
Oh my God.
He got up after the security, after all the people jumped up. You saw he jumped up real quick, like boom. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you knock him down there, all thing you'll see is his head bobbling.
Yeah, pretty much.
That head ain't never catch it with the rest of the body.
No, he's definitely very much giving bobblehead.
Did he have gastric
sure.
or was it like natural?
No, he had gastric.
Oh yeah, he had gastric. He had that Star Jones. He had the
That's
Star
what I was
Jones.
just about to say. He had that Star Jones. They had the 2-for-1 coupon.
That 2-for-1 coupon. Get you a new body and get you a gay man or a younger woman.
Whoever comes first.
Yeah, well, or both if you into that.
Oh,
right.
Oh gosh, just absolutely crazy. I think that's all I got. Yeah, that's all I got. As far as what's going on in these YouTube streets, this is oh gosh. So much. Yeah, is it? I guess. Well, read The Heart of Philadelphia and Deanna Irving are going back and forth, which between the both of them are really, really funny, only because it's like how it should be as far as just regular roasting and going after, I guess, appearances and stuff without going so deep. But a lot of the jokes are funny. I mean, I have laughed listening while working at them go back and forth at each other. Although there was this one joke that did stand out to me that I was just like, dumb as in funny, but it was kind of like, ooh, but it was still funny to me. Reed was talking about Deanna talking about her child being on the bus, and she was like, yeah, you talk about my child being on a special bus, but can your child get on the bus? Do you even have children? And I was just like,
okay. Ooh.
Like, damn.
Well, straight for the ovaries.
Yeah, right. But the way she said it, she was like, but she can't. Like, it was just the way they've been going back and forth at each other has been very interesting. And it's kind of, bringing childhood, like, the your mama jokes and all that kind of stuff. Being a city kid, I am no stranger to what some people call the dozens, your mama jokes, all that kind of stuff. Like, that is just so in this element. I know sometimes a lot of times you don't seem in place here. Oh, trust me, I am. I just choose not to engage a lot of times, but I will watch. But those who have, known me personally or get to see me, especially when I go out on trips and stuff, they really like, oh yeah, you really get it, like you really go, and I do, but I just choose not to. It's a time and a place for everything, and sometimes these people ain't worth it. And they take it too personal. You know what I mean? Like they'll take it too personal, and then they get their feelings hurt. Because I'm one, I'll keep going. So it's just called restraint, and showing that, like, if some people are just too sensitive for it, you just kind of don't engage. But yeah, it's cool to see that, because sometimes it gets dark and you start including people, or they start going to people's houses and all that shit. All that what are you asking for? Because you can go to somebody's house and you may not come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be careful when you're doing stuff like that, just because you're doing it for clicks and views to kind of show somebody else being a punk, knowing that good and well you could go there, but you may not be able to come back. So just be mindful. Keep it here. Keep it light.
Right.
Keep it,
Stand your ground on your porch. Get blown off.
That's it. You be sitting there talking about somebody ain't got no teeth while you won't have a head, with a closed box, because you done took it upon yourself to go visit somebody because you're trying to, prove that they a punk. Don't even, they ain't worth it. These people are not worth it. The only life they have is on here. The only friends that they have are on here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they don't do anything outside of here. If they can't drive to a state within radius, that's all they do. They're not flying anywhere. They don't take flights. They catch feelings. But in this day and age, we taking flights. We're not catching feelings. So later for your feelings and catch a flight. Preferably when you can get on first. How about it? So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, no, I thought that was funny. That was interesting. Anything else other than that? No, I popped in. Stomp Down popped back up on my feed. I haven't had a pop up from him in a while, and I stopped in to listen to him. He was talking about Storm Monroe, and another content creator was going back and forth with Storm Monroe. I just feel a little problematic with Storm Monroe, so I listened to it for a minute, gave it a thumbs up, and kept moving. But I definitely I am not a supporter of Storm Monroe. I think Storm Monroe is kind of like a Tim Scott in a sense. You are detrimental to the same people that you try to be a part of, and I just think it's just not a good look. I don't know if it's done just to propel yourself to this place of stardom by making others who disagree with your choice or lifestyle to feel comfortable with just you. So you kind of put yourself in this space where I don't particularly care for this, that, and the other, and that's unfair. A lot of people don't just live this for the fame or the notoriety. They really live this, and this is their real life. They don't just go pop titties and keep their penis, have children, and have the children call them daddy, mommy, or whatever, but you really just did that just so, you could be this kind of comedian that was totally different than anything anybody has seen. I just think too much what some is given is required, and the requirement is that if you're going to be the face, know that people are going to be looking to you for answers, looking to you for a lot of things, and it's your responsibility to be a steward of that, and not just whatever you want to see. I can't see you, sir, but there you go. I didn't want to pop you up there and then you don't be seen. I don't know if I could. You're still kind of fuzzy. Let's see.
Are you purple now?
His background was always that color.
I could have swore you know what? Never mind. I thought it was a different color.
No, it was always that color. Yeah, so with that, that's all I had. Any movies or anything you watching?
I think my husband bought tickets to go see The Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay. You guys are gonna go see The Little Mermaid. Oh, well, that's good. Exactly. Support the Black Mermaid. I think in a lot of these situations, especially with white Hollywood, if we want to see more representation and more films that are geared to where there are Black stars in them, then I think we need to start supporting these cinema kind of theatric events and making sure that we support in big number so that they can continue. So we don't have to see white people playing Egyptian gods
That part.
which I think is totally.
I was
stupid.
really pissed about that movie because I was really excited.
Yeah,
I was really excited.
I haven't even seen it. I refuse to watch it. I just refuse.
Man.
I was
Just mad.
What? What the hell? Like really? Like really? I mean, even watching Cleopatra, because they had the Queen series on Netflix. They did this Queen in Africa first, and then now it's Cleopatra. And even in that, they got her looking far more a European Egyptian than the Egyptian of the time. Even though they're like she had Greek heritage and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, cool, but we do come in different varieties and shades of color.
Exactly.
But just before the influx of Europeans in that part of the Middle East, when it was Upper and Lower Egypt period, I really don't see. Yeah, I really don't see Arab woman as the one they depicted in the Cleopatra being the same as the original Cleopatra. I just don't see it. But of course,
you know how they do it.
Yeah, but anything to kind of make it more white, to show like, you know, we've been here, we've been rulers over, you know, this world for a long time. We didn't just come out the mountains as dark dwellers looking like Gollum out of the Lord of the Rings, talking about the precious. We didn't look like that. Yes, you did, bitch. Yes, you did.
Right. Hairy knuckles and all. And some of y'all still hairy. So yes, you did.
Looking crazy.
A lot of people are pretty much saying that they're gonna show out for the Little Mermaid like they did for Black Panther, and I'm all here for it.
Yeah, I am. I mean, and granted, I'm not I did watch the animated Little Mermaid movie, but I think I wasn't really a fan. It was like, okay.
Yeah, it's not one of my top 10 Disney movies, but I'll support who is it, Haley, Chloe, whichever one.
Yeah, whichever one of the twins. One of the twins.
Right, one of them. I don't remember which exact one.
I mean, as we even talk about Disney, like, does Ron really know that Disney was very much not a fan of anybody other than white folks? Like, he was entertaining Hitler, like he was with the shits. So to come
back, he knows, but because Disney is not as family friendly as people.
I mean, no.
Really look into it.
Like no, that mouse was a rat for real.
Literally,
that mouse was a rat. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know you got kicked out. Sorry, it's quite all right. I was about to wrap it up anyway. Thank you so much for, of course, always hanging out. So definitely, but do know if anybody comes across any stories, anything interesting, you can always definitely hit me up on one of the platforms. My Instagram, not necessarily Twitter, unless you're trying to look at something else. But newsworthy wise, Instagram, you have Facebook. Definitely, you can always leave something there, or just shoot me an email. Email is in my description box, the docs, I guess, where it's my about page. My email is there. You can always shoot me an email, send a question if you have one. I will get around to answering it. I do get a lot of emails, believe it or not. So sometimes I do wind up forgetting, but if I remember, I will get around to it. I will make a mental note. But thank you so much for all that you do. It's always a pleasure seeing you, Edith, aka Antonio. We definitely have to make some time to kind of, because so much has happened.
We gotta do a nightcap. We gotta meet up to do a nightcap soon.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. Because so much has happened, and we gotta talk about a lot of things.
Okay.
Because I got a lot of questions, and maybe in me being therapeutic to kind of say it out loud, to kind of get other people's opinions, to see if maybe I was the one, but I don't see it. I don't see it. And I'll just say that. And that's just my cancer talking, because I just don't see it.
Yeah, my husband never sees it. But anyway,
you know what? Don't do it.
He's a cancer too.
I know. That's why I said don't do it.
You don't.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because we see everything, and we see the logic in it. So it's just like, how could you not see that?
You see your logic.
Yeah,
I've dated multiple cancers, and each one sees logic, but it's their logic. No matter it doesn't matter if there's other logics. The only one that you see is yours.
because that's the only one that matters.
At least you're honest about it.
But I mean, but not in a bad way. But I mean, like, I've weighed out all the options. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've gone through the gambit of how you may feel about it, how I feel about it, or how you see it, how I may see it. And I've even worked to where there's compromise in my logic, right? To be like, okay, well, I can see that, but I also see this. Okay, cool. This is where I stand on this. This is what I present. So then it's like, when I'm presenting it to you, that's just I've weighed out all of everything that has been presented. But you know, I'm okay. I'm okay if I was wrong, or if someone said, "Oh, you was wrong about that." I'm okay to accept that. I mean, it's not a thing like you can't accept wrong. I think that's the part of growing up, kind of knowing where you were wrong or being accountable for said actions. I just don't. When accountability comes into it, and for me, in a sense, I don't take ownership of other people's bullshit. Like, if you took something and ran with it and went left, and that's totally not what I'm talking about, I don't take accountability for you taking it and going left with it. And I was like, I wasn't even over there. Like, I wasn't even. No, I'm not taking that. You took that and you interpreted how you interpret it, and that's cool for you. But I'm not. Right. You ain't gonna give me to take on that. Like, oh, I'm so sorry you felt that way. Like, you could have just addressed it and said, you know, hey, I feel away. But I don't know.
Speaking of therapeutic, did you watch that show Unhinged on Hulu? Not Unhinged. No. What is it? With Kerry Washington and Delroy Lindo?
Oh, wait, it's supposed to be her father coming out of it? No,
yes. I haven't seen it. Please watch that show.
What is it called again? Isn't it called Convict Inmate Roommate?
Unchained. It's something. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to find it. But she's a therapist with daddy issues, and it's really interesting to watch her go through this, because she's like
a therapist with daddy issues, and her daddy moves in with her after getting released from prison.
Yes.
Okay.
It's really good, because there's this one part where she is so mad about her stepmom and him, and she had this adopted family, and she's like pissed because the dad invited the stepmom, and she's like, do you know what she did to me? And this is all your, like, she's just going, she's mad, she's blaming everybody else, and she goes, you're a bad father, and blah blah blah. And he goes, you know what, you're right, you are right, she was bad, I'm bad. Now look, do you want to be right, or do you want to be free? You either gonna be right, or you gonna be free. Are you gonna be free and let this go, or you gonna hold on to the fact that you were right? And I was like, damn it. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing. In when people say let it go, right? It's almost like giving to me, it's like giving a pass to a hurt that someone has caused. And it's like, no, I'm not giving you a pass for that. I'm not saying that it's okay, because it's not. And you need to know that it's not okay. So I think in those kind of instances, I do feel a way, because I know I deal with that with my own biological father. He'd be like, oh, just let it go. Get over it. And it's like, no. You've been able to just chill and not even think about that. And it's like, even when I attempt to have that discussion, it's like, no, we can't talk about that. No, we're not talking about that. No, we gonna talk about it,
right?
Because it's there, and you're not gonna ignore it just because you don't want to deal with it. And I just think that that's cowardly in a sense. Yeah. But you know, it's just me.
But in the show, he was saying, he was admitting it. He said, yes, I was bad, I did bad things. He was pretty much saying, yes, everything you're saying is absolutely correct, and I'm agreeing with you. But now that we're at this point of agreement, you're right. Now you're going to hold on to that, or you're going to be like, look, you're going to be free and just move on. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, in the show, he was acknowledging it. Like, I was a bad dad. I'm right there with you, and I agree. Yeah. But she would not let it. it's interesting. You
But
gotta
I
watch
think
the
it's that
show. It's really
accountability
good.
part that a lot of people don't take ownership of
Oh yeah,
acknowledging that they, that they have been or they played or whatever role, and it's just like whatever. But yeah, I'll check it out. I will check it out and let you know what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I think that is it. That's all I got. And yeah, we're looking at 10:30, and it's about an hour and 51 minutes. I would give you 9 more minutes to make it a whole 2 hours, but I don't. I'm just not feeling it right now. Um, let's see. Any other movies before I go? Because I always think about something. Movies or shows that I have watched. No, I haven't seen anything lately yet to make me like really
I've been
want to come
watching
back.
Power Book 2 and Power Book 4.
I haven't gotten
Fourth.
into
They're good. They are so good.
the power things. After the original Power, I just kind of put the books down and not really
They should actually make like physical books because
not really
so
looked into it because from the previews, of course, that people post on Instagram, I see Ghost had a kind of bisexual, trisexual experience or something, or whoever that was. I don't know. Yeah, from one of the whomever that was is somebody in the one of the characters in the power thing. About
if
when
you
they
could
were
find that
young.
clip, send it to me because I'm be like, hold up, who?
I will. I'll actually go through my Instagram because I just liked it a couple days ago. I was like, really? I don't see this for the kind of character that he is as an adult. I don't see this. Don't even make sense to me. So I don't know who. Yeah, I was like, what is going on here? But I'll definitely send you that clip. But yeah, no, I've finished Snowfall, which was a great
I heard that was good. I
series.
haven't watched it yet.
Oh my gosh, you gotta watch that. There's something that you have to watch that. Like you really have to watch that. It was really good. Like from beginning to end, all 5 or 6 seasons, really, really good.
6. Ooh.
You know what? Once you start watching, it's fine. I did watch some Netflix movie was it Key or Kiki or some Korean kind of American teeny bop thing that I wind up stumbling across. And once I started watching it, I was just like kind of stuck watching it. But it was so kind of crazy. Apparently, it's like a series. I guess the sister had done something before where she traveled overseas and found love, and then now the little sister was doing it. I had a lot of questions about how freely the father was just willing to let their child go and spend a semester in high school abroad, so she can go be with her boyfriend and get an education, quote unquote.
Sound like getting pregnant, but all right.
Yeah, it was like 16 and pregnant almost. But it was very weird. But I couldn't stop watching it because I was just like, what they gonna do next? Do I recommend it? And not so much. Not so much. I mean, it was just one of those. I was just stuck watching. So then I was just like, I just wanted to find out what the end was gonna be, but not so much. Other than that, I think I didn't really watch anything else. I just listened to little tidbits and things on YouTube. Nothing spectacular. One thing I want to say though is definitely make sure that we are checking up on our mental health. We don't know a lot of times what others are going through. So a simple call, text, hey, how you doing, goes a long way for a lot of people. Let's not forget that although we all may appear to be strong, we may be going through some stuff that really, may be heavy. So we definitely want to make sure that we are always checking in on people. And I want to thank you for always taking the time to check up on me too. And I know I do the same for you, but oh, stop it. But it is always great to know because it's always so random. It'd be like, oh, so it's never like a thing. It's just like always so
That
random.
little,
I think I needed that.
the
Yeah, that
little
little
face.
face. The little
I'll
face.
send him random faces like this.
He'd always be like, oh, like what's with the face? But it looked just like something you would do. Just
I know.
just bust open the door like, hey, what you doing? Nothing. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got. I really appreciate all of you for spending this evening with me yet again, where we talk about news and politics. Be aware that things are going on in this world, in this nation, that we definitely may seem overwhelming, but you have a voice and you have an avenue to really make a change, and you can be the change that you want to see. And it doesn't take much, just a couple steps to a voting booth, a couple steps to a town hall, letting your voice be heard, grievances, potholes, anything. All you have to do is be that change. That's it. It starts. A mustard seed. That's all you need. Hey, it's a nice little rhyme. But anyway, that's all I have for this evening. Be blessed. Don't stress. Moisturize, if I can't say that enough. And yeah, just be mindful of all the things that's going on around us. Don't take for granted the freedoms that you do have. And until next time, America, peace.